Right guys, I'm at the flat stroke studio. I've been trying to sort out broadband today. So because I've been waiting for my fibre to be connected and it still isn't connected, I've come up with this little arrangement. So this is like a 4G router. But the speeds I've been getting have just been absolutely ridiculous. I tried to even do a live stream with Neil, NJ Tech, yesterday, the other day, and it was not handling it. I think it's something to do with this building being cladded in metal. That's really not going to help. I think I might have sussed it. I mean, this is how bad the situation is, guys. Like, I've managed to get 3 megabits going down. God knows what the upload speed is, probably non-existent. But last time I tried it, it actually went up to about 5 or 6. But anyway, yeah, look. It's actually faster upload than it is download. I mean, that's good if you're a YouTuber. There's kind of this little arrangement of antennas that I've got, which I've just kind of put on the back here. This one's a diversity one, that's like a main one. So yeah, this actually helps. I never know if it really makes any difference, to be honest, when you stick these antennas on the back of these routers, but in this case, it seems to actually help a bit. Wowzers, we're really going to change the world with that, aren't we? 3 down, 4 up. At least it's pretty solid though now. So anyway, I wanted to show you my little streaming setup that I've kind of like put together over the last couple of weeks. Because when I finally do actually get some decent broadband in here, which should be in the next couple of weeks, I think I'm getting 500 megabit. Don't think I can get 1 gig yet, but anyway, 500 up, down, should be enough to do what I want to do. Yeah, once I finally get that sorted, then I'll actually be able to do some streams and yeah, it will be good. So let's give you a rundown of what I've got in here because a few people have been asking. Basically, it's all centered around this Mac Mini M1. So this is one of the new ones with the ARM CPU, so Apple Silicon. Incredible performance. I mean, I'm still blown away with what this can actually do versus some of my other my other Apple computers. Even like £2,500 laptops, it's literally running rings around, especially on the graphics performance. I've got that linked up to a Dell P2415Q, I think it is. This is basically a 4K monitor. It's been out for quite a long time, this monitor now, but the reason I like it is because it offers 4K in a kind of small monitor, but actually the pixel density is insane. Like, it really is crazy. You can't actually kind of see from the camera how good that is. But it's probably about as close to as like an Apple display as you probably want. I've got an Apple keyboard, Apple mouse, Elgato Wave 3 USB mic. So this is like one of the sort of fairly new sort of modern microphones. It's got a built-in pop filter. Sounds great, really good. It's got a built-in headphone socket in the back so you can actually kind of monitor directly, and then you kind of cycle through the little settings here. So you've got like a crossfader between your kind of mic input and your audio. This actually can output sound as well, so like from the computer you can actually set it as a USB sound card and you can actually hear that coming through the headphones, which is pretty useful actually. So this is nice stand, kind of, you know, just looks nice and modern on the desk. I've got a couple of these Elgato key lights which are just awesome. These just come on a stand. I was debating whether to get the ones that actually had the stand or the clamp on the bottom, but they were a little bit more expensive. These lights are awesome because they can be controlled by the Elgato Control Center app. So you've got this, you can turn the lights on and off, change the temperature, change the brightness. But what is incredibly cool is you can actually control them with the Stream Deck. So this is Elgato again, Stream Deck. And you can basically configure this to whatever you want to do. You can see here we've got, you know, OBS, this thing, if you push that launches like a speed test. Wow, 5.2, whoa, it's a bit quicker than it was before. Whoa, it's going up, whoa. So yeah, this thing's really cool. So I've got basically, you can configure this however you want. So I've got kind of an on and off switch for my lights, so you can just hit that and the lights go off or come back on. You can also adjust brightness either side, so adjust the brightness. That's really cool for being able to kind of, you know, change the lighting on yourself, so you can actually kind of, I can take down that on one side and kind of brighten myself up. So there's bags of stuff you can do with this. You can configure all different sort of menu pages, use your own icons and everything else. So up here I've got a Sony RX100 Mark 7, which I'm using for my kind of webcam. It's kind of overkill for a webcam, but I use it for other things as well. But basically at the moment it's kind of being used as a webcam. It's cool because you've got obviously the zoom feature on it and everything else, and it creates some really nice kind of blurry backgrounds if you can get obviously close enough to it. So I'm actually running this out of the HDMI. There is a webcam software for these cameras now, all the Sony cameras and a lot of the other ones actually. But I'm actually running out of HDMI straight into if we can see it around the back here, I've got an Elgato, again, Elgato Camlink 4K. So that can capture 4K and output 4K, which is pretty neat. So the other thing about these Macs is they just do not get hot, whatever you do to them. It's just so efficient. They run on so little power as well. Yeah, just no heat. With an Intel one, it's just ridiculous. You know, you can actually feel hot air blasting out, and it also comes across, you know, it could potentially come across onto your recordings and stuff. So having a little silent computer like this, virtually fanless, is just awesome. Yeah, so basically I can output 4K over HDMI into that little dongle, and then obviously capture that, which allows me to basically like record directly into the computer at 4K. So you've seen some of my other videos. I think I've been doing it at 1080 actually for the last couple of videos, but I can do it in 4K as well, which is pretty cool. Because I did find with the webcam mode on these Sony cameras, the maximum you can actually get up to is like 1280 pixels. It's like 1280 720, so it's basically 720p. It's just not enough. I don't know why they sort of put that restriction in. Maybe it's bandwidth across that USB cable or something like that. But the GoPro does do it in full HD. So if you use a GoPro in their webcam mode, it actually kind of works at HD level, which, you know, is kind of a good reason to get a GoPro Hero 789. I think it features on all of those, that webcam mode. And, you know, obviously the low light performance on the GoPros isn't great. So, you know, with these lighting, I haven't actually tried it with the lighting, but well, I've got the GoPro over here. Can't really see it because of the lighting, but I've just got like a light on there. The idea was to have this on like some little kind of like pointy stand so I can kind of just, you know, have stuff underneath. But in reality, this camera probably isn't good enough for kind of doing close-ups. You really want to use one of these cameras, which is the ZV-1, or of course that for doing close-ups. So for simple kind of near-field monitoring, I've just got a couple of Kanto U2 monitors. Great, I've got a built-in sound card by USB as well. But I'm actually just running this off of the DisplayPort 3.5mm. I don't know why, but yeah, these are good little speakers. Do what they need to do. I've got some Yamaha HS8s as well, which are going to be installed behind me once I get the other part of the setup in here, which is going to be like the live kind of music setup. So that's to come. These are good little speakers for kind of editing and kind of just general playback without kind of, you know, shaking the house down. And when I'm not using those, I'm using the Audio-Technica ATH M50X. Great, just standard, you know, no kind of like audio bias or any kind of, you know, bass influence or anything, just audio as it's supposed to be. At the moment, I've actually got them plugged into this. So this is the CalDigit. This is the most recent addition actually to this setup. I've got CalDigit, can't remember the model number. I'll put it down below. But this is insane. So this is like a Thunderbolt 3 hub. It has a ridiculous amount of connections on the back of here. So you got 1, 2, 3, I think there's 4 in total USB ports. You've got a pass-through for Thunderbolt. You can run 2 displays off this. It's got DisplayPort. It's got SD card. It's got another USB port on the front, and so the USB-C, and then it's got another fast USB 3 port on there as well. Audio interface in and out. Got Ethernet, optical, DisplayPort. Again, more USB-Cs than you can shake a stick at, and all in something that actually looks pretty nice on your desk. And this is really cool because it actually connects to the computer just with one Thunderbolt connector there. So one Thunderbolt cable, and you've got all of that handling. And as you would probably not expect, it actually handles everything crazy. Like, I mean, I'm actually editing off this Samsung SSD. This is only a T5, I think we're on like T7 now. But basically, running through there, even running the monitor, everything else through this hub, one cable. Okay, I've got another cable plugged in there, which is actually my cam link because I was experimenting around, but I can actually put that into the back of here, and it would basically do everything. It's crazy that, isn't it, how things have got. You can just literally just run all that stuff off of one cable because the bandwidth is just so huge. There's actually a USB 3 hub on here as well on this monitor, which I'm using as well. I don't actually know even what for, because I don't feel like I've even got a huge amount of stuff connected. Oh yeah, one other thing I've found is, obviously if you're running these cameras off of USB, you're running them off of HDMI, you're going to just flatten that battery really quickly. So I've actually got a USB lead running into this camera. Now, in theory, it should be putting in more than that's actually been taken out of the battery, but for some reason it actually depletes the charge. Because if we go under here, under my cable mess of nightmares, I've actually got one of these mains power adapters that's got a couple of USB ports built in. So it's got 2 amp USB ports, and that is one of those is powering that camera. However, it still runs out of power after about 3 hours. So, I mean, probably won't be a problem, but it does, which is kind of annoying if you leave it on. Oh yeah, one other thing I actually forgot about, that's a Philips Hue desk light. I can't remember the name of it. I'll put the link in the description again. Basically, you can just control that with without a bridge. You can just control that with an app, Bluetooth app. Change all the colours, everything else. I know you can do it with kind of your normal USB powered LED tape and stuff and all that, but I have one of those because I was using it around the house. So one thing I was playing around with last night is one of these, which is just like effectively the same as the Elgato cam link that I've got behind there. The 4K one. So it's a USB capture card. Now this thing was like literally like 15 quid on Amazon. I remember buying one of these. So this captures HDMI in and turns it into basically a webcam on your computer, like what I'm doing there. I remember buying one of these, and it was by Elgato, and it was about that big. So it was like 10 times as big as this, and it cost nearly 200 quid. And for doing the same thing. And now HD ones, so this will even I think it actually will even accept a 4K input, and then it will turn it into 1080, so you don't get 4K in and 4K out like you do with the cam link behind there. But the point is, the cam link is like 120 quid or something. You can probably find them for about 100, and this is like 20. So if you want a quick, cheap way of kind of capturing, that's my phone. I actually have phone signal in it. Weird. Potential fraud, that's always good. Anyway, what was I saying about this? So yeah, basically that's a cheap way of capturing HDMI from your camera using a mini HDMI there, which can go into one of these cameras. So I can actually set up a side camera that's good quality, HD, doesn't cost a fortune like the cam link thing. And then yeah, for extra cameras you could probably just add as many of these as you want. So I've just plugged the GoPro in over HDMI. And there you go, it shows in OBS, the streaming software, as a USB video device, and then you can select 1920 by 1080, 30 frames a second. I don't think it'll go any higher than that. There I am up there. I'm on a 4K canvas, so I can just stretch that up to there. And it actually looks pretty good. Although for some reason we've got the actual icons on top of the that output. Hope maybe you can turn those off, I don't know. So yeah, I feel like I've really learned a lot with all this. It's been quite interesting. I've sort of started out just dipping my toe in, and then by the time I've finished, I've kind of ended up with this crazy setup. But yeah, it's going to be interesting sort of going forward to see how it works, and what I can actually, the practicalities of it. I'm already using it in my actual sit-down videos, so it's nice to actually have a setup where I can just kind of sit down, I can record straight to the computer, don't have to worry about SD cards or anything else. I can just record straight in, do multiple camera angles, show web pages, get close-ups of things on my desk, all that sort of stuff. So it's all going to help, try and make this content a little bit more, improving the workflow, I think is the word. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this one. If you've got any questions or comments about this setup, and stuff you want to know, leave them down below and I'll try and get to them, and hopefully soon be able to do a Q&A when I've got this internet sorted out. Catch you in the next one.